Hey guys, 91 Extreme RT here with a Resto Druid raiding setup for, I guess it's going to be an update to my one button raid healing macro video. Because once you get further into raiding, like I'm getting in the Mythic right now, you can't really use a single button, but the single button macro is still good for putting out heals and saving a lot of mana. So pretty much it conserves, it does the most amount of healing without using really any mana. And so to start off with, I'm going to go into my talents and what I use. So the first one is Feline Swiftness, then Ysera's Gift, Typhoon, Force of Nature, Ursol's Vortex, Dream of Cenarius, and Germination is the last one. Germination works pretty good. As for glyphs, I use Glyph of Wild Growth, Glyph of Rebirth, Glyph of Healing Touch, Glyph of Grace for the Miner, Glyph of Aquatic Form for the Miner, which that one you're actually going to want to swap out possibly if you want to Sprouting Mushroom, so you can place the mushroom where you want it. I personally don't take it because for me I just find it easier to drop it wherever I'm at, because usually I stack with the biggest groups in the raid depending on the fight. That way they get the most healing out of it, and I can just hit the button and it drops it right on me. So next I'm going to go over my macros. Now I do use a macro toolkit add-on, and click on the toolkit button here, go to my character. These are my macros. For the longer ones, you're probably going to want to hit, right here it says unextend. When you get macro toolkit, you're going to want to hit the extend button, because the factory or default character limit is only like 200 and some characters, and this macro right here, as you see, is 334 characters long, so you're going to have to extend it. So first, my CD macro. Cast sequence at mouse over, so basically anyone I mouse over on the screen or on the raid frame, it's going to hit, and if you're not mousing over anyone, it's going to automatically put it on yourself. So basically what it's going to do is cast Iron Bark, and what Iron Bark does is it reduces the target's damage that they receive by 20% for like 20 seconds, I believe. Nature Swiftness, so it pretty much makes your Healing Touch an instant cast and then Healing Touch. So it does a pretty big heal really quick. And Regrowth is also in there because that's going to be your biggest impacting heal that is going to, bring them up the quickest. So it's the fastest casting heal. My next one is my cleanse macro. I have at mouse over again, Nature's Cure and Soothe. So pretty much it's going to be a dispel for like an enemy, and it's going to be a cleanse for an ally. So it works both ways, and that's cast sequence at mouse over, reset equals 3, Nature's Cure, and Soothe. Now, for the big macro, the only macro that I'm going to put in the description box below, which I'm just going to copy right now, is going to be the main spam macro. This macro, basically what it does, it casts Wild Growth on cooldown, and it casts a whole bunch of wraths. Whoever you set is your focus target, so if I want to focus myself, right click them, set focus, and then it sets it. So whoever your focus is, which I usually set it as the main tank, or whoever is going to be taking the most damage in the fight, I set them as the focus. That way lifebloom, rejuve, and healing touch, and all my abilities under this focus macro are automatically going to go to that person, so I don't have to worry about it. You're still going to want to watch it, because a lot of times when you have to move your mouse around the raid and heal other people, the heals will fall off the tank. So you're going to have to manually place them. So because this macro will go in order. Pretty much in dungeons, with this macro, you really don't even have to like target heal anyone. You can just spam this macro in a dungeon and it pretty much just works. You don't have to do any work. So that's kind of the beauty of it. But yeah, no, with this macro, with my eye level right now, which is my eye level, god damn it, my eye level right now is 664, and just by spamming this macro in a regular raid, like a heroic fight, I can usually pull about 25k HPS just with that macro. So it works pretty good by itself, but obviously you're still going to want to put your rejuves around the raid to heal people up when they need it. So you can't just spam the macro and get away with it. My next macro that I use is my Ever Burning Candle and Draenor Mana Potion. They're both used together. So basically it uses both the trinket and the mana potion at the same time, and it gives me about 40% of my mana back. So as soon as I hit 50% mana, what I'm going to do is hit that macro. It'll put me back up to 80 to 90% mana, and then I have a big pool to work from. Then every, what is it here, every 2 minutes I can use my mana cooldown here again and get another 20,000 or so mana back. Because even though the tooltip says 5,229 mana, it actually gives you like 20,000. See if I can click it here. Let's see here. See what the combat log says. What happened to me? Oh, it doesn't even say. But yeah, it gives you about 20,000 mana, roughly. So now my last macro I have is my Rejuve and cast sequence at most over again. Rejuve and Swift Mend. Pretty much how the how it works is that Swift Mend will go off on any target that has a Rejuve on them. So if you want to quickly heal someone up, what you can do, which is what I do, all my macros are on my thumb buttons for my mouse here, is I will target someone with the Iron Bark. So I'll just target myself here, and it's going to throw my Iron Bark on me, and then I'll spam that Rejuve button here. So it'll pile on a whole bunch of heals really quick. It's going to put Iron Bark on, it's going to put the Regrowth Instant Heal plus Hot on you, and the Instant Cast Healing Touch, and the Rejuve, and it's going to use a Swift Mend on you. So basically just by using those two cooldowns together, I can take a tank that's at 20% health and get them back up to full almost instantly, because usually with raid buffs, almost most of my big heals like that crit about 90% of the time. So it's really nice cooldown to use, and what's nice about Iron Bark too, like on the Korag fight, the second last boss in High Mall, is that when you have the soaker in the middle taking all the damage, that phase or that part only lasts about 20 seconds. So as soon as he gets the little ability in the raid frame, you can spam your instant heal macro on him, because he's going to take damage right away. It's going to put Iron Bark on him, so basically Iron Bark's going to make him take 20% less damage for the entirety of the time that he's taking damage. So it'll keep him alive a lot better, because if any of you that have done that fight, if the soaker dies in the middle and they're not up to soak the green puddles when they come, it does a lot of raid damage and usually can wipe a raid. So it's a really nice ability to have, and I use it every chance I get. I mean, anytime the tank takes a big hit, I put it on him, because the cooldown is short enough to where, I can use it quite a few times in a raid. You can use it, 8-10 times in a single raid fight. So really depending on the fight. So, but other than that, that is about it. Like I said, you're going to want to put your regular stuff on people. That's my main spam macro that I hit right there. So if I target this guy right here, well, I don't have a target to, I guess, target. So I'm going to go target an enemy here. And what's nice about Dream of Cenarius is that, when you get 150% healing back from the damage of your Wrath, it heals for quite a bit. So what I'm going to do, I have myself set as focus here, so I'm just going to spam this macro, and it automatically put lifebloom on me already. It's got Rejuve. Now if you want, like what I usually do, I target myself again, and that way I get the second stack of rejuvenation for like the tanks. What's nice about this macro too, when you keep spamming it, I have all the abilities spaced far enough apart to where it'll always keep harmony up. And harmony is what you get from your mastery. So it's about to go off cooldown there, which it just went off. I kind of stopped spamming the button, so it's going to be off by a couple seconds, but there it's back again. And harmony increases your healing by 23%, so that's why I have the macro set up the way I do, because it keeps everything timed perfectly. But if you look at this, when I'm hitting with Wrath, it costs no mana to use Wrath, and it's healing for 15-20k. So it's pretty much like using a regrowth on someone when it doesn't crit. But when, let's say, Wrath does crit, especially with raid buffs, it does a lot of healing. So, right there, boom, 35k. I mean, that's a pretty decent heal that you got for free. So it works really, really slick. And with the way the macro's set up, it casts Force of Nature on cooldown. So as soon as it's off cooldown, it's going to use it right away. And these little tree guys, well, they keep casting Healing Touch. It's free healing. In an average raid, from what I've checked from different recount fights here, here's a Korag fight from the other night. Let's see which one. It's Korag. All right, let's go look at the healing done. I can't remember what it shows up under here, but as you can see, like Ysera's Gift by itself did 7.3% of the healing. I can't remember what it's listed as, but I remember that just the healing touch from the Force of Nature, with the healing it does around the raid, throughout a raid fight, it'll do over 1,000,000 heals by itself. And 1,000,000 heals is not a small number, which is why I take it, and it's free healing. So they keep casting over and over and over, keep casting healing touches, healing people around the raid. It doesn't seem like a lot because it says that the tooltip for them says they only heal for, like, what is it, like 10,000 something? Where is it here? Let's go to Talents, Force of Nature, yeah, heal for 12,808. It's on a 20-second cooldown. Actually, it's not on a cooldown. Yeah, 20-second recharge. So pretty much, and it's up for 15 seconds. So there's only a 5-second downtime between each time it's casted. So it's pretty good. 12,808 heals casted constantly around the raid adds up quite significantly. So, which plays into a big part of why I can do so much healing just spamming that one macro button. So the most heals that I've pulled in a raid, I've actually 2-healed the Butcher fight with this spec, the way I have it. It was Heroic Butcher last week. We 2-healed it with 15 people, and without running out of mana, I pulled just over 45,000 heals per second. So, and I still had about 20% mana or so left at the end of the fight. So it's a very good build. It's very effective. Then again, I have all stacked Mastery. I know a lot of people stack Haste, but I'd rather stack Mastery, because Mastery, it increases your bottom end for your healing. It increases the minimum amount of healing that you're going to do. So when your heals do crit, they crit for even that much more. So that's why I stack Mastery. 23.3% Mastery right now, the way it sits. With raid buffs, like in raid, obviously, it's right around 30%. So 30% increased healing is quite a bit for, you know, with all the hots that you have, it adds up a lot. And I've noticed that the higher my eye level gets, and as I said before, it's 664, the higher my eye level gets, the pretty much the less healing I have to do. It's becoming a lot easier, and I'm using a lot less mana in raids because my healing is hitting for that much harder. And it's taken the load off. I remember when I first did dungeons with this Resto Druid, when they changed it in 6.0, it was just brutal. It was hell on the mana pool, but now with this much mastery and this much gear, it's actually getting a lot easier, and it's actually tolerable and fun to play, versus before it was almost irritating enough to play to where I went back to my Destro lock. So, but anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to make sure that I get that macro, and it's going to be, the main spam macro is going to be in the description box below, so all you have to do is copy paste it. Make sure you get macro toolkit and get that add-on. Make sure when you make the macro that you hit the extend button to increase it to 1024 characters so the macro fits. So, but other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps. Leave a comment with what you think of it and your success or failure with it. If you have any issues with it, let me know. A common issue with copy and pasting macros to from YouTube, for whatever reason, copying from YouTube back into WoW, sometimes it puts a hyphen somewhere in the macro, and it throws off the entire macro. So if you have macro toolkit, let's go back to here, and if the macro is correct, if it's not correct, say if I put let's see here, let's see if I do, I'm trying to fuck up my macro here. Right here, if there's something wrong with the macro, there's going to be a little error thing right here. And it's going to tell you exactly what it is. Invalid condition. Focus. Did you need mod? No. So you got to make sure you have it at focus. once you have it at focus, and then the error goes away. So basically all of your letters should be a color of some sort. Nothing should be, if there's something that's white, say if you if you copy paste it and you have white lettering in the middle of the macro, that means that the word is spelt wrong, or there's a space in it, or there's something going on. So everything should be blue, yellow, green, or purple. As goes for my other macros, I think that pretty much holds the same, except for my mana. My mana one, when you have a use ability, it gives it a different color. So for the show and the use, so it's like a off whitish, pinkish. I can't really tell what it is, but anyways, that is about it. Like I said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, and I will see you later.